Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla was a Serbian-American engineer, futurist, and inventor known for his contributions to the design of the modern alternating current (AC) electricity supply system. Born in the Austrian Empire, Tesla studied engineering and physics in the 1870s without a degree. He gained practical experience in the early 1880s working in telephony and at Continental Edison in the electric power industry. In 1884, he immigrated to the United States and worked at the Edison Machine Works in New York City before starting his own company. Tesla's AC induction motor and related polyphase AC patents, licensed by Westinghouse Electric in 1888, became the cornerstone of the polyphase system. Tesla conducted experiments with mechanical oscillators/generators, electrical discharge tubes, and early X-ray imaging. He also built a wirelessly controlled boat, one of the first ever exhibited. Tesla pursued ideas for wireless lighting and worldwide wireless electric power distribution in his high-voltage, high-frequency power experiments. After Wardenclyffe Tower, Tesla experimented with a series of inventions in the 1910s and 1920s with varying degrees of success. Early years. Nikola Tesla was born into an ethnic Serb family in Smiljan, Austria, in 1856. His father, Milutin Tesla, was a priest of the Eastern Orthodox Church, and his mother, Georgina Duka Mandic, had a talent for making home craft tools and mechanical appliances. Tesla was the fourth of 5 children and attended primary school in Smiljan, followed by middle school and high school in Karlovac. Tesla became interested in demonstrations of electricity by his physics professor and was able to perform integral calculus in his head, which prompted his teachers to believe he was cheating. He graduated in 1873, but contracted cholera and was bedridden for 9 months. Tesla's father promised to send him to the best engineering school if he recovered from the illness. After evading conscription into the Austro-Hungarian army, Tesla ran away southeast of Lika to Tomingaj, near Grakac, where he explored the mountains wearing hunter's garb. He enrolled at the Imperial Royal Technical College in Graz in 1875 on a military frontier scholarship. At Graz, Tesla was fascinated by Professor Jacob Possel's detailed lectures on electricity and suggested improvements to the design of an electric motor. However, by his 3rd year, he failed in school and never graduated, leaving Graz in December 1878. Tesla's family did not hear from him after he left school. In January 1880, 2 of his uncles helped him leave Gospic for Prague, where he studied philosophy at Charles Ferdinand University. However, he arrived too late to enroll at Charles Ferdinand University due to his lack of Greek and Czech subjects. In 1881, Tesla moved to Budapest, Hungary, to work under Tivadar Puskás at the Budapest Telephone Exchange. He made numerous improvements to the central station equipment and claimed to have perfected a telephone repeater or amplifier, which was never patented or publicly described. Working at Edison. In 1882, Tivadar Puskás hired Tesla to work with the Continental Edison Company in Paris, where he gained practical experience in electrical engineering. Tesla was sent to design and build improved versions of generating dynamos and motors and troubleshoot engineering problems at other Edison utilities in France and Germany. In 1884, Edison manager Charles Batchelor was brought back to the United States to manage the Edison Machine Works in New York City. Tesla emigrated to the United States and began working at the Machine Works on Manhattan's Lower East Side, working on troubleshooting installations and improving generators. Tesla may have met company founder Thomas Edison only a couple of times, but his designs were never put into production. He had been working at the Machine Works for 6 months when he quit. The event precipitating his leaving is unclear, but it may have been over a bonus he did not receive, either for redesigning generators or for the arc lighting system that was shelved. Tesla had previous run-ins with the Edison Company over unpaid bonuses he believed he had earned. The bonus in either story was odd since Machine Works manager Batchelor was stingy with pay and the company did not have that amount of cash on hand. Tesla's diary contains only one comment on his employment, saying goodbye to the Edison Machine Works. Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing. After leaving Edison, Tesla began patenting an arc lighting system. In 1885, he met with patent attorney Lemuel W. Serrell and was introduced to businessmen Robert Lane and Benjamin Vail, who who agreed to finance Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing Company. Tesla worked for a year, obtaining patents for an improved DC generator and building the system in Rahway, New Jersey. However, investors showed little interest in Tesla's ideas for new types of alternating current motors and electrical transmission equipment. After the utility was established in 1886, the investors decided the manufacturing side was too competitive and formed a new utility company, leaving Tesla penniless. Tesla lost control of his patents, as he had assigned them to the company in exchange for stock. He had to work at various electrical repair jobs and as a ditch digger for $2 per day. Tesla later recounted this period as a time of hardship, describing his high education in science, mechanics, and literature as a mockery. AC and the induction motor. In 1886, Nikola Tesla met Alfred S. Brown and Charles Fletcher Peck, experienced in setting up companies and promoting inventions and patents for financial gain. Together, they formed the Tesla Electric Company in April 1887, with an agreement that profits from generated patents would go 1/3 to Tesla, 1/3 to Peck and Brown, and 1/3 to fund development. They set up a laboratory for Tesla at 89 Liberty Street in Manhattan, where he worked on improving and developing new types of electric motors, generators, and other devices. In 1887, Tesla developed an induction motor that ran on alternating current, AC, a power system format that was rapidly expanding in Europe and the United States due to its advantages in long-distance, high-voltage transmission. The motor used polyphase current, which generated a rotating magnetic field to turn the motor. This innovative electric motor, patented in May 1888, was a simple self-starting design that did not need a commutator, thus avoiding sparking and the high maintenance of constantly servicing and replacing mechanical brushes. Peck and Brown arranged for the motor to be publicized, and in 1888, Brown and Peck negotiated a licensing deal with George Westinghouse for Tesla's polyphase induction motor and transformer designs for $60,000 in cash and stock and a royalty of $2.50 per AC horsepower produced by each motor. Westinghouse also hired Tesla for 1 year for the large fee of $2,000, $67,800 in today's dollars, per month to be a consultant at the Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company's Pittsburgh labs. 2 years after signing the Tesla contract, Westinghouse Electric was in trouble due to the near collapse of Barings Bank in London, causing investors to call in their loans and forcing the company to refinance its debts. Westinghouse demanded that Westinghouse cut back on excessive spending on acquisition of other companies, research, and patents, including the per-motor royalty in the Tesla contract. New York Laboratories. Tesla, a renowned inventor, made significant contributions to the field of electrical engineering by licensing his AC patents. He moved out of a Liberty Street shop and worked out of various workshop/laboratory spaces in Manhattan, where he conducted some of his most significant work. In 1889, he learned about Heinrich Hertz's experiments that proved the existence of electromagnetic radiation, including radio waves. Tesla tried powering a Ruhmkorff coil with a high-speed alternator, but found that the high-frequency current overheated the iron core and melted the insulation between the primary and secondary windings in the coil. To fix this problem, Tesla developed his oscillating transformer, later known as the Tesla coil, which would be used to produce high-voltage, low-current, high-frequency alternating current electricity. In 1891, at 35 years old, Tesla became a naturalized citizen of the United States and patented his Tesla coil. After 1890, he experimented with transmitting power by inductive and capacitive coupling using high AC voltages generated with his Tesla coil. He attempted to develop a wireless lighting system based on near-field inductive and capacitive coupling and conducted public demonstrations where he lit Geissler tubes and incandescent light bulbs from across a stage. In 1893, Tesla told onlookers that he was sure a system like his could eventually conduct intelligible signals or perhaps even power to any distance without the use of wires by conducting it through the earth. He served as a vice president of the American Institute of Electrical Engineers from 1892 to 1894, the forerunner of the modern-day IEEE. During the 1893 World's Columbian Exposition in Chicago, Westinghouse Electric invited Tesla to participate in a series of demonstrations, including his wireless lighting system. The room featured suspended hard rubber plates covered with tin foil, which served as terminals of the wires leading from the transformers. Tesla introduced his steam-powered reciprocating electricity generator during his presentation at the International Electrical Congress in 1893. This generator was designed to generate alternating current by pushing a piston up and down through a series of ports, producing an alternating magnetic field. However, it never gained widespread interest as a viable engineering solution for generating electricity. In 1893, Edward Dean Adams, head of the Niagara Falls Cataract Construction Company, sought Tesla's opinion on the best system to transmit power generated at the falls. Tesla advised Adams that a two-phase system would be the most reliable and that Westinghouse Electric could light incandescent bulbs using two-phase alternating current. The company awarded a contract to Westinghouse Electric for building a two-phase AC generating system at the Niagara Falls, based on Tesla's advice and Westinghouse's demonstration at the Columbian Exposition. In 1895, Edward Dean Adams agreed to help found the Nikola Tesla Company, which funded, developed, and marketed various Tesla patents and inventions. The board was filled out with William Birch Rankin and Charles F. Coney, but it found few investors due to financial difficulties in the mid-1890s. Tesla's lab burned down in 1895, destroying a collection of early notes, research material, models, and demonstration pieces. After the fire, Tesla moved to 46 and 48 East Houston Street and rebuilt his lab on the 6th and 7th floors. In 1894, Tesla began investigating radiant energy of invisible kinds, later identified as Röntgen rays or X-rays. His early experiments were with Crookes tubes, a cold cathode electrical discharge tube. In 1896, after hearing of Röntgen's discovery of X-rays and X-ray imaging, Tesla developed a high-energy single-terminal vacuum tube of his own design that worked from the output of the Tesla coil. In 1898, Tesla demonstrated about using a coherer-based radio control, which he dubbed telautomaton, to the public during an electrical exhibition at Madison Square Garden. He tried to sell his idea to the U.S. military as a type of radio-controlled torpedo, but they showed little interest. Remote radio control remained a novelty until World War I and afterward, when several countries used it in military programs. Wireless power. From the 1890s to 1906, Nikola Tesla focused on developing the transmission of electrical power without wires. This expansion of his idea of using coils to transmit power was seen as a way to transmit large amounts of power around the world and worldwide communications. However, at the time, there was no feasible way to wirelessly transmit communication signals over long distances, let alone large amounts of power. Tesla had studied radio waves early on and concluded that even if theories on radio waves were true, they were worthless for his intended purposes since this form of invisible light would diminish over a distance just like any other radiation and would travel in straight lines right out into space, becoming hopelessly lost. By the mid-1890s, Tesla began working on the idea that he might be able to conduct electricity long distance through the Earth or the atmosphere. He set up an experimental station at high altitude in Colorado Springs during 1899 to further study the conductive nature of low-pressure air. To fund his experiments, he convinced John Jacob Astor IV to invest $100,000, $3,662,400 in today's dollars, to become a majority shareholder in the Nikola Tesla Company. Instead, Tesla used the money to fund his Colorado Springs experiments. During his time at his laboratory, Tesla observed unusual signals from his receiver which he speculated to be communications from another planet. Reporters treated it as a sensational story and jumped to the conclusion Tesla was hearing signals from Mars. He expanded on the signals he heard in a February 9, 1901 Collier's weekly article entitled Talking with Planets, where he said it had not been immediately apparent to him that he was hearing intelligently controlled signals and that the signals could have come from Mars, Venus, or other planets. Tesla made the rounds in New York trying to find investors for what he thought would be a viable system of wireless transmission, winning and dining them at the Waldorf Astoria's Palm Garden, the Players Club, and Delmonico's. In March 1901, he obtained $150,000, $5,493,600 in today's dollars from J.P. Morgan in return for a 51% share of any generated wireless patents. In December 1901, Marconi successfully transmitted the letter S from England to Newfoundland, defeating Tesla in the race to be first to complete such a transmission. Tesla tried to get Morgan to back an even larger plan to transmit messages and power by controlling vibrations throughout the globe. Over the next 5 years, Tesla wrote more than 50 letters to Morgan, pleading for and demanding additional funding to complete the construction of Wardenclyffe. Later years, Tesla, a pioneer in the field of electrical engineering, worked tirelessly to secure funding for his project. He opened offices in Manhattan and later moved to various locations, eventually becoming bankrupt due to the exhaustion of his patents. In 1906, he demonstrated a 200-horsepower, 16,000 RPM bladeless turbine, which was tested at 100 to 5,000 horsepower at the Waterside Power Station in New York. Tesla collaborated with companies like Allis-Chalmers and worked on perfecting the turbine with Hans Dahlstrand. During World War I, the British cut the transatlantic telegraph cable linking the U.S. to Germany to control information flow. They also tried to shut off German wireless communication by having the U.S. Marconi company sue the German radio company Telefunken for patent infringement. Telefunken hired Tesla as a witness for 2 years, but the case stalled and went moot when the U.S. entered the war against Germany in 1917. In 1915, Tesla attempted to sue the Marconi company for infringement of his wireless tuning patents. However, a Supreme Court decision in 1943 restored the prior patents of Oliver Lodge, John Stone, and Tesla, stating that their decision had no bearing on Marconi's claim as the first to achieve radio transmission. Nobel Prize rumors emerged in 1915, with rumors suggesting that Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla were the original recipients of the 1915 Nobel Prize in Physics. However, the Nobel Foundation denied these rumors, stating that a recipient could decline a Nobel Prize only after being announced a winner. Tesla biographers have claimed that Edison and Tesla were the original recipients and that they were given the award because of their animosity towards each other. Tesla was a renowned inventor who won numerous awards and medals during his life. He was awarded the Grand Officer of the Order of St. Sava, Elliott Crescent Medal, Grand Cross of the Order of Prince Danilo I, Member of the American Philosophical Society, A.I.E. Edison Medal, Grand Cross of the Order of St. Sava, Cross of the Order of the Yugoslav Crown, John Scott Medal, Order of the White Eagle, Grand Cross of the Order of the White Lion, Medal of the University of Paris, and the University St. Clement of Ochrida. Tesla also developed devices based on the production of ozone, such as his 1900 Tesla Ozone Company selling an 1896 patented device used to bubble ozone through different types of oils to make a therapeutic gel. He theorized that the application of electricity to the brain enhanced intelligence, creating a plan to make dull students bright by saturating them unconsciously with electricity. Before World War I, Tesla sought overseas investors, but lost funding after the war started. In 1917, he postulated that electricity could be used to locate submarines via the reflection of an electric ray of tremendous frequency, with the signal being viewed on a fluorescent screen. Émile Girardot, who helped develop France's first radar system in the 1930s, noted that Tesla's general speculation that a very strong high-frequency signal would be needed was correct. Tesla had a further office at 350 Madison Avenue, but by 1928, he no longer had a laboratory or funding. He lived at various hotels and received payments from Westinghouse Electric and Manufacturing Company, which he described as a consulting fee to get around Tesla's aversion to accepting charity. In 1931, Nikola Tesla organized a birthday party for his 75th birthday, attended by scientists and engineers like Albert Einstein. The event featured a spread of food and drink, featuring dishes of his creation, and invited the press to see his inventions and hear stories about his past exploits. At the 1932 party, Tesla claimed he had invented a motor that would run on cosmic rays. In 1933, at age 77, he claimed he was on the verge of producing proof of a new form of energy that was violently opposed to Einsteinian physics and could be tapped with an apparatus that would be cheap to run and last 500 years. He also worked on a way to transmit individualized private radio wavelengths, breakthroughs in metallurgy, and developing a way to photograph the retina to record thought. In 1934, Tesla designed a superweapon called Teleforce, or his death ray, which he claimed would end all war. The weapon had a range of 250 miles and an expected development cost of $2 million. Tesla tried to attract interest from the U.S. War Department, United Kingdom, Soviet Union, and Yugoslavia in the device. In 1935, at his 79th birthday party, Tesla covered many topics, including discovering the cosmic ray in 1896, inventing a way to produce direct current by induction, and proposing using his oscillators to transmit vibrations into the ground. In 1937, he received the Order of the White Lion from the Czechoslovak ambassador and a medal from the Yugoslav ambassador.
Death.
In 1937, Tesla was struck by a taxicab while commuting to the cathedral and library. His injuries were never fully recovered, and he refused to consult a doctor. On January 7, 1943, he died alone in room 3327 of the Hotel New Yorker, ruled coronary thrombosis. The Federal Bureau of Investigation ordered the alien property custodian to seize Tesla's belongings, and John G. Trump, an electrical engineer and technical aide to the National Defense Research Committee, analyzed Tesla's items. Trump concluded that Tesla's thoughts and efforts were primarily speculative, philosophical, and promotional, often focused on the production and wireless transmission of power. A 45-year-old multi-decade resistance box was found in a box purported to contain a part of Tesla's death ray. On January 10, 1943, New York City Mayor Fiorello LaGuardia read a eulogy written by Slovene-American author Louis Adamic live over WNYC radio. Tesla's body was taken to Ferncliff Cemetery in Ardsley, New York, where it was later cremated. A second service was conducted by prominent priests in the Trinity Chapel in New York City the following day. Personal life and character. Tesla, a lifelong bachelor, was known for his chastity and aversion to relationships, preferring to focus on his work. He was a social person, often surrounded by friends and admirers, including Robert Underwood Johnson, Dorothy Scarrett, and Julian Hawthorne. Tesla was close to Mark Twain, who described his induction motor invention as the most valuable patent since the telephone. In 1896, Tesla met Indian Hindu monk Swami Vivekananda, who believed he could mathematically demonstrate the relationship between matter and energy. This led to Tesla studying Hindu and Vedic philosophy, and later wrote an article titled Man's Greatest Achievement, using Sanskrit terms. Tesla was also close to George Sylvester Viereck, a poet, writer, mystic, and later a Nazi propagandist. He was known for his harshness and openness to criticism, such as firing a secretary for her weight and criticizing clothing. When Thomas Edison died in 1931, Tesla contributed the only negative opinion to the New York Times, stating that Edison had no hobby, cared for no amusement, and lived in disregard for basic hygiene rules. He had a contempt for book learning and mathematical knowledge, trusting himself entirely to his inventor's instinct and practical American sense. Tesla became a vegetarian in his later years, living on milk, bread, honey, and vegetable juices. Views and beliefs. Tesla, a prominent figure in the field of physics, was known for his disagreement with the theory of atoms being composed of smaller subatomic particles and his belief in an all-pervasive ether that transmitted electrical energy. He was generally antagonistic towards theories about the conversion of matter into energy and critical of Einstein's theory of relativity. Tesla claimed to have developed his own physical principle regarding matter and energy, which he started working on in 1892. In 1937, he claimed to have completed a dynamic theory of gravity that put an end to idle speculations and false conceptions of curved space. Despite being considered a humanist in philosophy, Tesla advocated for selective breeding through eugenics, believing that human pity interfered with the natural, ruthless workings of nature. He believed that marriage should be made more difficult to prevent the breeding of unfit individuals and that women would become the dominant sex in the future. In 1926, Tesla commented on the social subservience of women and the struggle for gender equality, predicting that humanity's future would be run by queen bees. He believed that the League of Nations was not a remedy for the times and issues. Tesla was raised an Orthodox Christian, but later opposed religious fanaticism and believed that the universe was a great machine that never came into being and never will end. He believed that the soul, or spirit, is nothing more than the sum of the functionings of the body. Literary works. Tesla wrote a number of books and articles for magazines and journals. Among his books are My Inventions, the autobiography of Nikola Tesla, compiled and edited by Ben Johnston in 1983 from a series of 1919 magazine articles by Tesla, which were republished in 1977. The Fantastic Inventions of Nikola Tesla, 1993, compiled and edited by David Hatcher Childress, and the Tesla Papers. Many of Tesla's writings are freely available online, including the article The Problem of Increasing Human Energy, published in the Century magazine in 1900, and the article Experiments with Alternate Currents of High Potential and High Frequency, published in his book Inventions, Researches and Writings of Nikola Tesla. Legacy and Honors. In 1952, following pressure from Tesla's nephew, influential Yugoslav politician Sava Kasanovic, Tesla's entire estate was shipped to Belgrade in 80 trunks marked NT. In 1957, Kasanovic's secretary Charlotte Muser transported Tesla's ashes from the United States to Belgrade. The ashes are displayed in a gold-plated sphere on a marble pedestal in the Nikola Tesla Museum. Tesla obtained around 300 patents worldwide for his inventions. Some of Tesla's patents are not accounted for, and various sources have discovered some that have lain hidden in patent archives. There are a minimum of 278 known patents issued to Tesla in 26 countries. Many of Tesla's patents were in the United States, Britain, and Canada, but many other patents were approved in countries around the globe. Many inventions developed by Tesla were not put into patent protection. That concludes our journey through the incredible life of Nikola Tesla, a visionary who changed the world with his inventions and ideas. If you found his story inspiring, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to Who is Who for more fascinating biographies of history's most influential figures. Let us know in the comments which Tesla invention you think had the biggest impact. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more.